Hello everyone. Today we're going to see second part of risk management. Under this, we're going to discuss about uncertainty, perils, hazards, risk management process, various means of managing risk, and finally limitations of risk management. Uncertainty. Uncertainty refers to a situation where the outcome is not certain or unknown. When we involve in an action, the outcome, the result is uncertain. We are not sure about what going to happen or what will be the result. That is called uncertainty. So, decision under uncertain situation is very difficult for a decision maker because we don't know about the result, the outcome. So, the decision making is very difficult. It's based on the skills, experience, and other aspects of an individual regarding taking decision and uncertainty situation. So, in a business or even a personal life, you may face this one. It is unavoidable because we don't know everything about the future. The next one is perils. A peril refers to the causes of loss or the contingency that may cause a loss. So, what are the factors cause for a loss or a damage? That is called peril. So, if a house burns down, the fire is the peril because the fire caused for the damage. So, what is the factor or what are the factors cause for the loss? That is called peril. So, regarding peril, we can get insurance policies. It provides financial protection against losses caused by perils. Under that, we have two types of insurance contracts. So, insurers call policies that specifically identify a list of covered perils. It's called specified perils contract. And second one is alternative format. It covers all losses except those that are specifically excluded. It is called open perils contract. Next, we move with hazards. Hazards are the conditions that increase the severity of loss. So, what are the conditions? They increase the severity of loss, improve the loss, it increase the loss. That is called hazards. So, these are the conditions that create or increase the severity of loss. The hazards we can divide into under two broad categories. First one is physical hazards. Physical hazards are actions, behaviors, or conditions that cause or contribute to peril. The individual action or behavior may cause for hazard. That is called physical hazard. Second one is intangible. It is psychological in nature. So under intangible, we have three subcategories. First one is moral hazard. Someone do some fraudulent activities or cheating. It is called moral hazard. Then moral hazard. It's about based on carelessness. Due to carelessness, when a hazard happen, that is called moral hazard. Then society hazard. It is about legal and cultural aspect. In a society, we know what we're supposed to do, what we should not do. So if anything goes wrong, it's come under legal and cultural hazard. Next, we move with the risk management process. So risk management, we already discussed even in personal life or in our career or in business, risk is unavoidable. Whenever you thought about earning income or get gain or profit, it associated with some risk. So risk is unavoidable. So here we're going to see about risk management process. How can we manage the risk? What are the process we have while we managing the risk? It starts with establish the context, risk identification, risk assessment, potential risk treatments, finally review and evaluation of the plan. We go one by one. First, establish the context. It's the first thing. So the purpose of this stage of planning enables the understanding of the environment where the particular organization operates. Once you decided to manage the risk, the first thing you have to do is you have to understand the environment in which the particular business or organization is operating. Because based on that environment, it attracts various risks. So here we have to consider and thoroughly understand internal environment and external environment. So what are the factors available in internal environment of an organization and external? We have to understand clearly these two aspects. Okay. So what are the scope of risk and the objective of organization? These are the things we have to concentrate and establish the context. It's the first aspect of risk management process. Second one is risk identification. Once we establish the context, second, we identify the risk. So risk identification can start with the sources of problems. What are the sources of risk or problems? So what are the possibilities are available? Okay, that we have to identify from where the risk may arise. The sources we have to understand. So for that, you need knowledge about the organization, in market, which it operates, legal system, social system, economic conditions, political changes, climate aspects. Likewise, it goes on. We have to understand everything. When you have knowledge about all these things, then only you can easily identify the risk, because all these aspects may create risk for your business. Then third one, risk assessment. It's a third aspect. Once we identify the risk, now we assess. So when we assess, there are two things we have to concentrate. What is the potential severity of loss? Then probability of occurrence. When we assess the risk, we have to concentrate on these two aspects. When the loss arises, what are the severity of loss? Then the probability of occurrence of particular risk. Okay. So here it is very much important under risk assessment. For example, if earthquake come, it may affect your building. So what will be the loss? You can measure. The earthquake come, what is the severity of loss for our building? That we can assess. That is called severity of loss. Then probability of occurrence. Probability of occurrence, we have to analyze what are the possibilities we have for the earthquake in the particular region. So the severity of loss, that means when loss occurs, how much will be the impact? Then probability of occurrence, what are the possibilities of happening of particular risk? These two aspects, in those two aspects, we have to assess the risk. Okay, it is not an easy aspect, because in this assessment aspect you need enough knowledge, skills and experience regarding this. Okay, then fourth one, potential risk treatments. Once we assess the risk, what are the potential risk treatments? Here we use all techniques we have to manage the risk. What are the possible things we have, scopes we have to manage the risk? There are a number of things. Here we have four major aspects regarding risk treatment. First one is risk transfer. You can transfer whole or part of risk. Best one is example is insurance. When you have certain risk, through insurance, you can transfer your risk to the insurance company. Second one, risk avoidance. In certain cases, it's better you avoid the risk. You have decided to involve in a business and you come to know the possibility of loss is high. It's better you avoid a particular business. So that is second one, avoid. Third one is risk retention. So you know, When you come up with new product, new invention, the risk is available. You don't know how the people receive that product or service. So here you decide to take the risk deliberately because it's not impossible to avoid in all the cases. That means you can't come up with new product. So you take the risk, you assume, you calculate. So deliberately you take that one for your growth. Then final one is risk control. So you try to control over the risk. Here you try to control the losses or minimize the losses. These are the possible risk treatments, potential risk treatments we have. Then finally, review and evaluation of the plans. The final stage. Under risk management, we implement different plans and initiatives, but we can't keep that plans for long term. It should be updated, it should be evaluated periodically. Because certain risk management plans, when you execute, it may give success this time, but in the future it may not. So it's better you update and evaluate periodically depending upon the situation and changes happens in your surrounding. Because of two reasons, we need to review and evaluate our risk management plan and process. First one, to evaluate whether the previously selected security controls are still applicable and effective. Previously, we adopted certain techniques. Now we have to think whether it is still useful. Then second one, to evaluate the possible risk level changes. What are the things changing regarding risk level in the business? Okay. Then next, various means of managing risk. What are the different types we have regarding managing risk? It's more or less extension of the potential treatment of risk. These are the major means, methods we use regarding managing risk. First one is avoidance. Second one is prevention. Third one is reduction. Fourth one is separation. Fifth one is duplication. And finally diversification. Avoidance. Risk avoidance is the best means of loss control. When you have certain risk, it's better you avoid risk. When you avoid the risk, you completely avoid the damage or impact. So when you avoid the loss, so zero probability of loss. So here you simply avoid. The probability of loss is zero. It's avoidance. For example, you decided to involve or operate a business, you come to know the possibility is only loss. It's better you avoid the plan or drop the plan. Then second one is loss prevention or risk prevention. So here, in some cases, it's very difficult to eliminate and avoid. So here, you try to take an attempt to prevent the loss. Mostly, you involve in a particular action, but still, you try to prevent the risk or losses. That is called second one. Third one, loss reduction. So in this technique, you know very well, you can't avoid, you can't eliminate. So here, you try to minimize the loss as much as possible. Okay, you try your level best to decrease or minimize or reduce the loss. For example, a company might need to store flammable material in a warehouse. So and decide to install state-of-the-art water sprinkler in the warehouse. So if a fire occurs, the amount of loss will be minimized. The next one, separation. Separation is another category, another technique. So here, a business may involve dispersing key assets. In a business, they have different kind of assets they use in their day-to-day business. So here they ensure that if something negative occurs at one location, the impact to the business is limited to the assets only at that location. So you separate the asset to different locations. So you can easily face the risk. Fifth one, duplication. So it's simply about creating a backup plan. So it is the most really necessary, especially in terms of technology. If you have all your important files in your computer or desktop, you should have some backup copy in some other aspect, because if anything goes wrong, you lose everything. So you need a backup plan or a duplicate aspects to manage the risk. Then finally, diversification. Diversification is a technique that allocate business resources to create multiple lines of business. Nowadays, most of the companies, they go for this. They offer variety of products. Instead of depending on producing single product or single service, they go with multiple products and multiple services. So when you diversify your products and services, the possibility of loss and risk is less. If one product doesn't go well, means even with the help of another product, you can manage. So these are the various types of managing risk. Finally, limitations of risk management. Whatever you do, it contains some limitation. It also applicable for risk management. What are the limitations we have under risk management? In adopting risk management, first one, it leads to time wastage. When you adopt risk management in your company or in your organization, it leads a lot of time. So we have to deal with all the possible risk. Sometimes that risk may not be occur, but still you need to focus on all those. So it consumes more time. So you need to employ certain person only for that, needs more time. Second one, spend too much time on risk assessment. In certain cases, you need to spend more time for risk assessment process. Okay. Then third one, risk assessment is subjective and lacks consistency. We are predicting the future based on past experience, based on our skills, our knowledge, our experiences. But still, please remember, future is uncertain. When you predict something about future, you may not be 100% sure. You may not predict 100%. That's the third limitation. Finally, concentrating too much on risk management process. A project may keep an organization away from ever completing the project. If you involve too much on risk management process, it's very difficult to start a particular project. You never complete a project. So these are the possible limitations or demerits we have under risk management. I hope you understood everything. Thank you.